by the end of the play date, every child started to making their own version of dragon story. And same dragon, but different version. And that's really magical moment for me. And it made me thinking, and kids can really inspire each other. One little adventure will inspire many, many different version of adventure. And kids can kind of the viral loop of imagination.
Hi and huge welcome to you, my lovely listeners. So glad you're here. Today you're joining me for a chat with Feifei. Feifei is the founder of Kindlewood Studios, a creativity-based learning platform for kids. Feifei, so nice to have you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Nicholas, for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here today.
Learning is something I've been obsessed with for quite a while. And I find it really interesting. You kind of picked the very young crowd of learners. Why did you focus or decide to focus on especially that niche?
Absolutely. And there are multiple reasons. And number one is because I have two kiddos and they are 5-year-old and 4-year-old. They are the perfect age and start learning reading and writing. And I think it just got started the whole journey. And me as a mom, as a parent, I thought a lot. And in the age of AI, what my kids gonna learn, how they will develop a real edge for the future while everything is changing and so unpredictable in the future. I think that's one primary reason. And the other reason is, and look at me, and I was the product manager at tech company for so many years, and the whole thing is changing. The way people think, the way people live, operate, or work, everything's so different. And naturally keep me thinking, okay, for me as a grown up, and I need to change the way I learn for any topic. And the same thing for children, and it's the time to transform how they learn. It doesn't have to be boring, and there's new way, and we can help kids learn more fun, more creative, more engaging, and more personal. Yeah.
It's really interesting. Before we further deep dive into it, I'm interested in your background story. I think it's been a journey from China to the US into tech. So maybe walk us through it a bit. How did this all work out?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I was born, raised in China, and I got my bachelor and master degree back in China as well. And I majored computer science for my bachelor and machine learning and as my master degree. And about 15 years ago, I moved to United States, Seattle area, and for working primary. And talk about my career, I pretty much have done all kinds of tech role from customer support, testing, engineer, and product manager, program manager, and also sales. And so it was really interesting journey. After a long journey at big tech company and particularly at Microsoft, and I finally, I would say, found my calling working at the intersection of education, AI, and technology. So yeah, that's really quick background about me.
If you look at it today, I think you were like in one of these big tech companies in Microsoft. If you look at it today compared to that old life in the corporate, how did it change? What's different now?
You know, that's the question I have been thinking a lot for myself and also sharing with my friends as well. And first, I loved my job when I was working at big company like Microsoft and the new technology and the resource, the support you able to have at that moment, and also the learning opportunity as well. But again, I feel the organization was so big and it took a long time, a process and decision steps to come to alignment. It was not easy. And me, most of my career or my job was product manager. I think one thing I was really enjoy doing is number one, connect to customer and talk to the user and understand about their pain points and come up ideas with team to address their pain points or improve the business process. But again, there were moments I felt I didn't just have the authority to make the decision to fully serve my customer and make the impact. And so there are pros and cons definitely. And now come to right now building my own product and do my own startup. I think number one thing is I learned a lot throughout this journey by doing everything from think about the problem and coding the solution, think about go to market and marketing, distributing, and even fix bug for production in real time in front of my customers. And so there's so many things I wasn't able to experience at the big tech company because kind of you own a smaller area, not the full end-to-end, not all the decision through the whole journey. I think that's one thing, a lot of opportunity for me to really think about and every decision, what that imply for the whole product for my user. And so, yeah, that's very different between jobs.
And on the other side, it's probably also been a good learning experience. I mean, these large companies, they have a lot of friction. I think that's known. That's kind of what you pay for when you are in it. It's just a huge administration that you have to deal with when you are in of them. I think they are all the same in that sense. But on the other hand, it probably also helped you a lot for what you're doing now. Like what's the biggest learning that you could take from being at the big tech company to now building your own product?
Absolutely. I would say there are a lot of learnings. I will share top two probably. One is the product thinking, and that helped me a lot, particular designing the user experience for my Kindlewood product and also how to position. And one example is, and for me, at Microsoft, I designing, building enterprise solution and product. I need to think about all the different persona and what's their normal behavior, what's the user journey for each persona, and design the right experience for each persona. And that concept or product thinking I naturally carry into the Kindlewood. And one small example is for Kindlewood product, we split the creator experience versus the reading experience. And the reason why is there technically can be the same people doing the same, two different tasks. But for reading, and take my 3-year-old as example, initially it was on the web application, and together with the creation, there's a page you can flip around. And my 3-year-old and just keep tapping every button and every single where of the page and jumping out and log out, and he got frustrated. And when I observing how he used the system, it remind me he's different persona in this whole journey. I need to define the experience tailored for this age group. And the reading basically become a native mobile app and very simple UI and very focused. Kids only do one thing, read. They read story. They don't think about anything else. There's no purchase button. There's no link you can click, log out accidentally. So that's one, truly think about user experience based on who the product for and their user journey and the special things for that user. And that's one thing. The second thing really important and helping a lot on the startup journey is be empathy with user. That sounds simple, but when it comes to practice, it can be really challenging. What I mean is back then I talked to all different customers. Some customer really easygoing, basically, okay, come to decision is pretty quick. Some customer maybe demanding is the wrong words, but that's how I felt at the moment. But again, I keep thinking, keep learning. Every demanding ask, there's some reason behind it. Me as a product manager, as someone define the product, I need to think about the motive, the reason why they ask, what the real problem, what's the real needs underneath the ask. Sometimes they don't know what they want. They ask A, but A doesn't necessarily helping their process or addressing their needs. So we have to go one level, two level deeper to truly understand and be patient. And I learned the most demanding customer are always the most valuable customer by the end. You tackle them, they are the best loyal customer, they stay with you, and they're happy about the product by the end.
It's interesting to understand this side. I also think if you go out of one of these large companies, you have to unlearn some things. Is there something that you really had to unlearn when you started working on yourself or on your startup?
I wouldn't say unlearn, and I will say just be open and be ready to adapt anything new, especially with AI, different technology every day. And I think that's really critical. But there are, I would say, a mindset shift. And what I mean is, like back tech company. And for me, I was product manager. I worked marketing team, a sales team, and they are the first owning the go-to-market strategy and sales page, and me providing the context, and now like owning everything. But right now, I have to naturally pick up everything, and I need to be okay to do both exciting stuff, but also the boring things as a founder, as a builder. And that's one. And second, I think I learned the product, how to tell a good story that matter a lot. And for my product, I pivoted almost 3 times. Each time I learn and what message resonate audience better, and what are the real problem I'm trying to solve. And so I think that keep pivoting and keep polishing the message and keep crafting a compelling story until I do things on my own. I didn't have the chance or opportunity to experience and before, and that's something new. But I learned what I learned. I keep reminding myself, okay, just be open and be ready to fail and to be hammered by partner, by customer, by parents. But again, everyone give me any piece of feedback, positive, negative, and they spend their time, they pay their attention, and I should be grateful and appreciate.
Before we do more of a deep dive into the product itself, I'm really interested. Why the name Kindlewood? Is there any background to it? How did you arrive at that name, actually?
Okay. So take a step back, Kindlewood. So the very first version is just a storytelling, a storybook. And actually, the whole Kindlewood journey started with my kids' story. One story sparked the whole thing. And because the story and kids love like treehouse. And so the wood was the first word popped in my head. Okay, kind of represent the magical and the adventure style, and for Kindle, and like kids growing up, and I want the story and become a guide, become a little light, and help them navigate around their life and their journey. So kind of I was just thinking couple key things I want to bring into the concept, like the world, the light, the magic, the adventure. Of course, I was consulting with ChatGPT. Now we together come up this name. Yeah.
Yeah, when we look beyond it, you already said it. I think at the end of the day, when you build something, you have to make something people want, right? Now you have a really challenging, at least user group. I'm not sure if they are really the customers who pay for it, but they, at least the users, are probably 4 to 7 year olds. You already said they behave very different from us probably when we use an app. They how did you work that out? Did you just build something that you thought was great and then really watched your children? How did you go about that? Is there some more structure behind it? How does it actually work?
Okay, just one small correction. Our target user group from 3-year-old all the way to 12. And there are storytelling is the key thing we are emphasizing right now. And through storytelling, kids can learn different things. That's how tie back to the learning aspect. And they can learn different like science and reading, writing, and life skills, and or just purely fantasy adventure style. And now go back to your question. So I think so first, let me take a step back. And so the whole journey started from my kid's story that was about a year ago. My 4-year-old sat at the dining table, told a very cute story. A dragon ate his friend and accidentally. And he is a superhero, gathered together other friends, went to save the friend, got eaten by the dragon. And there are a lot more, but that's the simpler version. And his superhero squad and saved the friend. At that moment, it was such a cute story. As a mom, my only thought is I want to keep this memory. And so I was trying to explore any tool or any way can keep it. And the very first, I used the ChatGPT, try to make some images and with the story. It took about 4 hours, even 5 hours, and the prompting, adjusting image, and the character was not consistent. And there are many other issues, but eventually there was a very okay-ish version, but he's super, super happy. At that night, he kept reading like 20 times, and his younger brother also kept reading. The second day, he brought the book to share with his friends, 5 other children on the play date. And by the end of the play date, every child started to making their own version of dragon story. A same dragon, but different version. And that's a magical moment for me. And it made me thinking, and kids can really inspire each other. The one little adventure will inspire many, many different versions of adventure. And kids can kind of the viral loop of imagination. So that's the moment. And I had that spark. Okay, I want to do something. Number one, make the whole process easier, efficient, not 5 hours. It just be 5 minutes maximum or even 1 minute. And any kid's imagination and any story, parents can just quickly turn into something tangible, digital version, and they can print it out as a paper book as well. So I think that was the very first version of Kindlewood. And then it comes to the learning. And about the time to learn reading, writing, And we tried a lot of book in the market, also the reading app from the market. I wouldn't say the name, but he just not quite interested. But his own book, he just kept reading. And that got me thinking more. What about we combine both? Instead of reading the normal textbook, he can read his own adventure, his own story. And through making story, he also learned reading and writing. And I can see how he turned that into action. When he sees interesting words, he grab a pen and write on the paper. And when he starts sitting down writing, his little brother got influenced, come joining the reading and the learning journey. And that's how the kids community effect come into the play. And I organized more community workshop and storytelling events and bring more kids. When kids see each other, they would naturally inspire each other. That's why one of my tagline is one storyteller can inspire many, many more. And that's true. I see that in action. That's really, really happening. Yeah.
And how's traction so far? So how can I imagine that you have a number of creators and also a lot of stories, I think, to date. So how is this going and how do you feel the scaling is going? Are you happy with your progress?
I would say absolutely. We have making a really good progress, not a lot. So on the business metrics side, and we have more than 200 young creators or storytellers, and they are creating stories and over the week, over the day, and there are more than 500 story created throughout the community already. In addition to consumer, we also partner with school, local learning center on the storytelling workshop or the writing workshop, and kids can come to write their own story. And as I mentioned, and story is the format. Through the creation of story, kids learn reading and writing. For older kids and like 7, and they learn writing because writing is such a critical skill and very fundamental critical skill, and how to write clearly, concisely, express their thought on paper into words. And that is something they're practicing. There are 9 schools we are partnering right now. And again, pretty much every school we have talked, engaged, school director, principal, they loved idea. And kids love story in general. And through story, they learn so many things. And the bottleneck is actually on us for school partnership engagement. And we need to have more teacher or people to engage. And so there are a lot of opportunity for us to scale, but we need to have our own team ready first before go big. Yeah. I would say I would prefer growing with a steady and healthy pace instead of go viral, because education first is not something you just go viral overnight over the week, and I'm preparing for a slow journey. Yeah, so a little bit more on that. In addition to the business metrics, what I care about is how kids like it or not. And there's so many emotional moments, just literally make me cry every time I see kids from super shy, introvert. They come to the workshop, they didn't know what to do, they were hiding behind parents, but slowly their curiosity draw them out. They start engaged. By the end of the workshop, they don't want to go. They don't want to stop. They just want to keep creating. And that was really rewarding moment for me, and seeing them love what they're doing. And also, just super rewarding for me. That's way beyond the
Yeah.
ARR and RR. Yeah.
It sounds awesome. And I think generally in the startup world, there's this fun meme of 10 years of overnight success. So that it's like most people don't see that companies existed for a long time before they actually took off. And there are a ton of examples, even the really large ones that we look up to, be it like Stripe these days or Airbnb, for example. I think Airbnb is one of these stories where everybody has heard that they were literally going to give up like at a certain point in time. So I think it's very normal that the start of the journey is hard. It's especially hard in marketplaces, I think. So
Yep.
I think that is very normal. I think everything else is rather the extreme outlier. Like if you kind of hit it really well very early, I think that's very difficult. What I would find interesting is, do you have some kind of viral loop? Because I think like the sharing of stories or something like that probably is something that could create some marketing. I would like in Dropbox, for example, we shared the files and we became Dropbox users. I could imagine that something like that also works for what you're building.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the viral loop of imagination and the community flying wheel. And so basically some kids are very talent. They like creating at day one. My older kids as example, and there are many kids come to the workshop or just using online too. I see the similar thing. And for some other kids, they may not ready to create at day one, like my younger one. But when my younger one read the story from the community, like this dragon, this ninja, and this apple tree, this squirrel, he will think, oh, my brother creates so many stories and he's the hero of every story. Now I want to be the hero of my own story. He started creating his own story. He transformed from reader to creator. So that's how that work. And because kids will inspire and not necessarily quit right away, but slowly they will follow their own pace. And kids always curious. They always want to create. They are born to be creator. I always tell my community, think about my little one or other kids. They do the role play. They pretend to play and they dress up, they imagine, they build Legos, and they are the creators. They just haven't have a really good opportunity or a tool for them to express their idea yet. So that's why when this is the place for them to express their idea in any format. And storytelling is the starting point, and we will have more program in the future to support kids' creative growth journey.
When we look at AI, and that it's the dominating topic, I think, for the last 1.5 years, I think it will profoundly change learning. What is, if you look at it today already, I think education is usually rather slow and a little bit behind. But what do you expect will happen, and what will the effect be, and how does what you are building play into that?
Yeah, I think that's a really great question. That's also one of the many questions we have been thinking. Also our challenge as well. And basically, we as a team, how can we balance using AI to help children to explore new possibility and unlock more potential, also not replacing their thinking and creativity. And first, we need to have a good position, how we position AI. And right now, AI is a tool. We make sure kids are the author. They are on the driver's seat. They come up with the idea and they express their thinking and they writing, they read, and the whole process, they are the one driving. And AI as a tool, they can help kids unstuck. For example, a 7-year-old kid writing the full script of story. We have the writing coach to help kids improve the grammar, conciseness, also helping kids understand how does a good story entail in terms the start, the beginning, and the conflict, the solution, the ending, and kind of asking more open-ended question to help kids to navigate the storyline instead of, okay, here one shorter prompt, here's the full story. And then kids, basically you leaving the creativity to the AI instead of the kids. So the design of the tool need to be very, very well thought. And also, since we're serving teacher and parents as well, now we need to think about for grown up. And we optimize for convenience, meaning grown up, and we want to create something for learning quickly. Like, okay, this week and this school we're teaching the life cycle of butterfly, or learn all kinds of wolves. And teacher can have a kind of one shorter prompt, the life cycle of butterfly, and the system can quickly create the fact-based learning book. So for teacher, for parents, and we optimize for convenience. And for kids, great. We make sure they are at the driver's seat. We help them navigate the process. But again, the thinking, the idea is all belong to the kids. Yeah.
Looking more again at the journey of yourself, and now looking at vibe coding and AI, how do you feel your personal workflow has changed from former product management work to today, and what is it like now?
Yeah, I would say for AI, it did unlock more potential for myself. And even though I majored computer science for both bachelor, master degree, but I didn't like coding with Java and C++. And I never liked it. And even I can, but I just didn't like it. And I'm more enjoying talking to user, engage customer, and on the business product side of the work. That's why I picked product manager for later in my career. And now web coding or AI coding is perfect for me. I don't have to touch the syntax, the raw programming, but it's a great opportunity for me to put my idea into a real product, and much quicker, and testing, iterating, and repivoting. And so that's one also. And it helped me build a lot of confidence, and something I never truly believed I was able to do, a full stack application built on my own. Never happened in history, but now it's happening for more people. So I think a lot of people keep thinking, okay, AI replaced the job, AI will replace people thinking, no matter grown up, for kids. I would say the opposite. If people are really curious, and AI will help them find more potential they can explore. Once I tackle this thing and I have more questions I want to try, I want to explore, it actually amplified my creativity. I didn't feel my creativity, my thinking got replaced. I think a lot more. Yeah. I got busier too, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same. I think if you want to build things and you know what you want to do, AI isn't superpower now. Obviously, there will be some implications on the job market. We cannot rule that out, but that's a very different story. I mean, if you think about your current journey as a builder, what has been the most rewarding moment that you see? What really made you happy?
Okay. I love this question. I tell you a story. Last week, I went to Seattle AS Summit, and I was rehearsing my pitch at home, kind of just talking to myself, and my 5-year-old overheard my pitching presentation. And he took a moment, talked to me. Hey, mom, uh, is it me the reason got you a job? That was a very funny response. But my point is, I told him, yes, you give mommy a job. And the whole reason we have Kindlewood is because you inspired me at my journey, keep inspiring you and to creating more stories and to write more. And also another pitch is at Kindlewood, every child becomes storyteller and creators. Kids don't just consume technology, they create with it. One storyteller inspires many, many more. And then my 5-year-old goes again, am I the first creator? I said, yes, you are the first creator. So back to your question, I'm super happy. That's the moment, super rewarding. I often telling myself, the end of day, the startup making money or not, that's secondary. Me, I'm part of my kids' growing learning journey, and I'm able to make impact. That's the most rewarding. And not only my own kids at workshop, we finished the whole season. One child came to me and my partner saying, I feel so sad. I have to leave now. That moment I was about to cry. That's the most beautiful moment. You see kids and love your product. They love what they are doing. And so I would say, and success metrics, revenue, it doesn't matter to me. I feel I'm succeed already at this very moment. I made an impact at the neighborhood, at the community for my own kids. But of course, I want to bring the impact to more children and kind of more mission driven, and money comes secondary. Yeah.
I think this is a very nice story as final words for this podcast. Feifei, thank you so much for being on the show. And to you, my lovely listeners, see you next time.
Thank you so much, Nicholas, for having me. And it was my pleasure. We'll talk to you around. Bye-bye.